Just kidding, he's leaving. That's Chihiro, also known as Hero for short, also known as my son. If you've seen the movie Spirited Away, then you know what's up with his name. Fun fact, I think I'm gonna only name my dogs after animes from now on because I don't know, I love the vibe, and I'm only gonna get boy animals from here on out. So yeah, I'm gonna be a boy mom. And I think the next name of my next animal will be either Denji, inspired by the Chainsaw Man, or Sin from Spirited Away to match Chihiro's energy. I also fuck with the name YB, but Coraline is not an anime. It's still my favorite, so the rules can bend. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And if you have your own spooky, scary story that you would like to share for me to read in a future video, don't forget to email this email right here, which is also available in the description below, as well as my social medias if you want to give me a follow on those. Before we get started, I'm going to read a story that was submitted by a subscriber. Shout out to E. You are so amazing. For real, I don't think you get how much it means to me when this notification pops up on my phone, so thank you. I love you so much, E. The story is called Ouija Board Scary Story. I'm so excited. Ouija board and skinwalker stories are my favorite. A friend and I were having a sleepover when we were younger, around 4th or 5th grade. We were messing around with an Ouija board. We both knew it was kind of BS, but it was fun, and it was something to do late at night at a sleepover. It was getting to be around 10 p.m. and only so many Dance Mom videos can keep us entertained. So, we get out the board that she got for her birthday that year and start messing around. One of the rules is not to leave the piece you move around to see the letters on the board when it's not in use. That is what my friend and I did. We left for 10 minutes to grab a snack, not thinking twice. We go about messing with it, talking to random ghosts. Then we take a break and head downstairs, this time taking the piece off, along with turning off the little battery-powered candles we had around the board for a spooky atmosphere or something. We come back to it, maybe 20 minutes later, to all the candles being turned back on, and the piece back on the board. Even her room light and fan were on. I at first thought it was my friend because she had stayed upstairs for a few minutes longer than I had, but when I looked at her, she looked so frightened. Real fear I had never seen on her before. We both stood there in shock for what felt like hours. We both looked at each other and swore we didn't do it. Both of us almost on the verge of tears with fear, rushed to put the board away. We ended up putting it in the guest room at her house. Looking back at it now, her older sister was out of the house. It was just me, her, and her mom. Her mom was asleep and had no idea we were even playing with the board. But yeah, scared her and me enough to never mess with them again. Thinking about it all these years later, I still get chills from it. Oh, love your content, by the way. Thanks for all the help on the sleepless nights. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Like it's Chick-fil-A. Oh my goodness, by the way, I didn't know that rule about not leaving the thing you see the letters with. I think it's called, is that the oracle? No, it's called a planchet. I did not know a planchet. A planchet. What a tingly word to be so fucked up. A planchet. I didn't know that you couldn't leave them alone. I just thought you couldn't leave the board by itself. Like you had to say goodbye before you left it. So it's good to know. I'm never gonna play with one, but good to know. I'll pass it along. Again, thank you so much, E, for sending that story. And again, if you have your own spooky, scary stories that you would like to share, email this email, which is also available in the descriptions, as well as my social media. Tonight's spooky, scary Reddit story asks, what is your small town dark secret story? I don't know if this is considered a dark secret, but in the county I lived in, from ages 10 to 18, we had a soldier die from some extremely questionable circumstances. UGH. I wouldn't be too surprised, since there's a lot of shady stuff happening in small town police departments, including covering up R words that officers commit. I really hope his family gets justice. A freshman with autism was being abused by his family at home. He was a problem child and got into trouble on purpose, but no one went too hard on him because of his home life, and he was a well-loved kid at school and in the community. One day, just before the holiday break in December, he was really sick, but his mom sent him to school anyway, locked him out of the house, and he decided to try to get into one of the empty houses down the street through the chimney. Now, this kid was the size of a second grader, but he was too big to fit through the chimneys. His mom never answered her phone when the school reported him missing. Went a whole day without reporting her kid missing. No one knew what happened to him. The school organized an entire week of counseling and such. They wore pink for a day and handed out little pink ribbons on pens for him since his favorite color was pink. Everyone was hit by it really hard. That's how our small town started 2020. Hasn't gotten any better, as you can see. Apparently this happened in Port Clinton, Ohio. This was around 15 years ago, but there was a sheriff's deputy that was seemingly a really cool guy. Friendly, cracked a lot of great jokes, etc. He was working at a local high school as a school resource officer and was apparently almost universally well regarded. Well, it turns out that he repeatedly... I don't know what I was expecting to read. Well, it turns out he was repeatedly doing horrible things to a 14-year-old, and he told the boy that he'd kill his parents if he reported him. And I don't remember all the details, but I believe this went on for weeks or months before it was found out and the officer was arrested, and eventually went to prison. Somebody commented ours was a football coach and a history teacher. When he was coaching, we won almost every game. When he wasn't, we lost most of them. So I had to assume that meant he was a great coach. I had him for 2 history classes, and even though his jokes were mean and inappropriate, we loved it and learned a lot. He had the highest test scores out of all the history teachers at our school. A little over a decade ago, after he graduated, he went to jail for sexually assaulting a 15-year-old girl. I wish I could feel like justice was served, but we had several male teachers who regularly made inappropriate passes and gestures towards the female students, starting at age 11, like spanking us and making us sit still while they gave us awkward messages. He was not one of those teachers. This is more comical than dark. A house burned down in this small town of a population of 600, 1 block from the fire station. It being a volunteer station, no one was actually there. They tried to get the bumper truck out, but one of the volunteers had run it into the brick building the week before, and it was still at the shop. We're still undecided whether the house owner burned it down for insurance. Strange that there was nothing valuable inside. 15 years ago, the local district attorney called his longtime girlfriend and told her he was taking the day off from work and that he loved her. He parked his car in town and went for a stroll past the local shops. He hasn't been seen since. His car was found where he had parked it the next day. He had left his cell phone in the car, but his keys and wallet were missing. Later that year, his laptop, sans its hard drive, was found under a bridge at a nearby river. The hard drive was eventually discovered by a local woman walking along the bank of the river, but it was too damaged to recover any data from. Interestingly, investigators discovered that someone had done a search on his home computer for how to wreck a hard drive. Did he jump from the local bridge? Did he encounter someone whom he had prosecuted who did him harm? Did he escape his life to start a new one? body and bones from another person. People don't like to talk about it. I wonder why, but everyone knows what happened. Oh, I have a doozy. Short version, popular kids in high school run a secret towel fight club. Towel fight club, question mark. Like you fight with towels. They accidentally kill one of their friends in the house of a local politician who proceeds to bury the story. They put a definition of towel fight club. A towel fight club. Towel fight club is tape towels over your hands and beat each other up. It's supposed to be like boxing, but it sounds like they got out of control and hardly could call it that. This one is sad to me. There was an older couple here who ran a halfway house for troubled kids who'd recently gotten out of juvie. They fostered a few as well. They were loved in the community, wonderful people. One of them had an older brother who was a gangbanger in the nearest big city. During a visit, he snuck his 15-year-old younger bro a handgun. Younger bro ended up holding up a gas station and killed 3 people. One of them was my friend's cousin. The foster parents launched whatever credentials they needed to do what they did, and the kids went back into the system, and the giant house they had has been abandoned since around 2009. That breaks my heart. That story hurt. There's a half-submerged submarine from the war in the bay where I live. You can walk out to it when the tide is out. In the late 80s, somebody cut open the hatch. One of the only visible parts left sticking out of the sand, climbed in, and had a look around. The tide came in and he drowned. Oh shit. If I remember rightly, the whole hatch was filled with cement and then welded shut to stop it from ever happening again. The town I was raised in wasn't exactly small, but here's one of the dark secrets. My hometown was where a lot of sports players had their mansions, and so of course their wives and children were out and about in the community a lot. Every single sports player's wife in that town was/is heavily addicted to opioids. Every single one. Opioid addiction is obviously an epidemic all over the country, but among the rich wives in the town, it had a 100% infection rate, so to speak. I know because one of my friend's moms was a hairdresser for basically every single one of those wives. I was homeless my senior year of high school, and one of those sports players' wives heard about me from her, and she gifted me an iPhone. That phone was pennies to her, but I still wish I'd expressed my thanks more because that wife died of an overdose not too long after. Sorry if that wasn't too much of a dark secret, but yeah, wow. I just hope the person writing this is in a better place now. Our local pizza place was known as a KKK hub. Everyone knew it, and still to this day, if you Google insert town KKK, the first thing that pops up is this pizza shop. They had some nasty-ass pizza, too. I could have guessed that. The mayor of the town I lived just outside of was murdered by his girlfriend a little while back. And there was a realtor that was using his company as a front for smuggling drugs. Other than that, it's the usual small-town southern crap. We have a vineyard hill next to our village. On that hill, there's a wooden cross. Lots of people go there to drink, have a walk with their dogs, but almost nobody knows why the cross is there to begin with. During war, a vineyard keeper lived there, and he was with his son. His son was recruited, and the man was left alone. When the war ended, his son survived and wanted to prank his dad by sneaking up on him at night. But the vineyard keeper saw him and thought he was a robber, so he grabbed his rifle and shot the robber. When he found out it was his son, it broke his heart. He dug a grave on the top of the hill for his son and erected a big wooden cross next to the grave. When he was done, he laid his son to rest and shot himself. From that day, no one worked on the vineyard, and there's a big wooden cross on the top of the hill. Now you can't even recognize there's a grave. school with vanished one day. From day one, everyone was telling the police that her ex-boyfriend had something to do with it. She already had a restraining order because he held a knife to her throat and threatened to kidnap and kill her. But with no evidence, they couldn't do anything. Over the years, several people went to the police, saying that he admitted to killing her, but they did nothing. He eventually got in trouble for threatening to kill another girlfriend and choking her, and went to prison for 3 years. After prison, he came back to town and eventually asked another activist for a ride home from a party. And then she went missing after that night, and they found her car burned, and they arrested him again. A few months later, someone found a set of remains outside of the town, and during the recovery, they found another set of much older remains. He killed them both, and the failure of our police department caused the second girl to be murdered. I think I was a senior in high school when this happened, but it was in our local paper every day for a long time. The details are hazy, but I'll do my best to recount them. 4 athletic male students had sexually assaulted a female sophomore student. One male had access to keys of the room it happened in because his parents worked for the administration. They apparently picked her up to get food and then went to the school locker room. 2 of them pressured her to participate in an act she did not want to do and thought she was in physical danger had she not done anything. The female student 100% went to court, and then they completely turned it around on her, that she asked for it, that it was her fault, etc. I just got really angry all of a sudden. I'm sorry. They said if she really did not want to comply, she would have fought harder, or her clothes would have been torn or bloodied up. She just left that school and moved instead of staying. I don't believe much happened to the male students at all. As for the male students, no one had registered for anything. No one went to jail. Their futures were all intact. I think 2 had to do service hours and probation. Some dude that owned a froyo shop knocked one of his female employees unconscious, and she woke up inside the soundproof room in said yogurt shop, bound up and wearing a diaper. She managed to escape and get the cops called. Well, this is the last one because my phone is dying. Does anyone remember a few years back when a bunch of people were dying of lung diseases caused by illegal THC vape cartridges? Well, turns out a guy I went to high school with was running one of the biggest THC cartridge operations in the Midwest, if not the entire country. His mom and brother were in on it too, at multiple locations where they were paying people to manufacture, pack, and distribute the cartridges. I'm trying to be that Dr. Phil meme right now. But I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And if you have your own spooky, scary, or unsettling, or any type of story that you would like me to read in a future video, make sure to email this email right here, which is also available in the description down below, as well as my social